Welcome to the third of the Leadersculpting the Future video series. I'm Ravi Tangri.
And I'm Dlamini.
And this is about what does all this mean for leadership. We've looked at how disruption is the order of the day and what sort of mindsets are required, but then what's required for leadership. And we talked last time about the systems for making it comfortable to be uncomfortable and innovate. But something else here that's critical for leadership is your response to failure. If your team is failing, how do you respond? If you come down on them, you are killing innovation. You're killing your ability to disrupt. Because the thing is, the only thing you're guaranteed with innovation, the only thing you're 100% guaranteed is failure. And if you are not failing, your team is not innovating. So how do you support and encourage failure? Not just, oh, great, you failed, but what have we learned? Where are we going from this? I mean, there's an organization I work with that produces 2 reports every year. One is like an annual report, here's all the successes, but then they proudly put out their failure report, which lists every failure they've had and what they've learned and what they're doing now as a result of that. So how do you
and that's really, really powerful because, as you say, it means that leadership is no longer just about providing the answers, but actually supporting innovation. And in supporting innovation, one of the things that's becoming more and more important today is that organizations and leaders need to become inclusive leaders or become inclusive organizations, because the world is becoming a global village. And I'm very, very passionate about this. That cultural intelligence today is no longer a nice to have, but really something that's quite important for organizations who are going to lead into the future. We're recognizing that it's not just about culture, but it's also about it's also about gender. It's also about lifestyles. It's also about generations. There's so many things to navigate. And so leaders today need to have a high CQ, a high level of being inclusive leaders and knowing what that means. And so it can be learned, the skills to be inclusive can be learned and they can be improved on. And so that's something that we're going to touch on as well as we get into this a little bit more. But I'm very excited about that.
Well, and this whole thing about inclusivity, I work with greatly, and what's I've seen emerging is that it's no longer, things are so complex now.
Yes.
People talked about the visionary leader. Well, you know what? The world's so complex that usually no one person can have a clear vision. What is required now is for the leader to be able to step out of their ego and be able to say, you know what, I have a piece of the puzzle. I know we need a vision, but I don't have enough. We need to collectively craft it. How do we bring all the key players in, all the different viewpoints to collectively co-create the future in this co-creative leadership? And
so what that does is that basically it brings a place where you as a leader, you are the beacon of the purpose of the organization. You're directing where the organization is going or where your team is going, but you understand that you've got to pull others in and be inclusive in the way that you do that. And so values will play a huge role in that.
Absolutely. You become the beacon, as you said, of the purpose. Here's the why we're doing this. And then the values are how, and it's holding the people accountable to those 2 elements, and they create the what. So, and
that leads us to the next video.
Absolutely. That's where we're going to get into all of this work about what is purpose and values-driven leadership. And of course, all of this, we're exploring these concepts. We're going to go in deep at a special event in June, the Leadersculpting Your Future event. Go to leadersculpting.com and you can book your seat right now to make sure you're there with other leaders like you to be able to chart the way forward.